What you don't
Oh, what's going on over
understand,
there?
you don't understand. What
What you don't
don't
understand?
understand is this is just Steve Weisgal.
That's Mark Blanchard over there. Right over there. Hey, look at that shirt you're wearing. What is
Wait a
that?
second. Now, there's a reason for this shirt, okay?
What is
First
the
of all,
reason?
first of all, look at that.
Oh,
That old school.
I've seen that logo
Okay.
somewhere. Hold on.
Second of all,
Oh, it's right
okay,
here.
hold on. Read that.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Read that.
Read. I still can't read that. What does it say?
Read that.
It says Shea Stadium.
Shea Stadium. Let me tell you why I'm wearing this t-shirt. Because yesterday on a Sunday, we went old school. We went with two pitchers who were pitching and have pitched in Shea Stadium. Not for the Mets at the time, against us, and probably beat us both times at that point. But that's what we do. We're old school.
I don't think so.
No? You think
I mean, they're 40, but I don't think they pitched in Shea Stadium.
You mean it's been that long?
Been that long.
Okay, well, wait a second, because I can tell you that I think you're wrong. Because
Verlander came into the league after 2000.
okay,
so you know.
but so you know that Shea Stadium ended in 2007 and was built in 2009. And the reason I know that is because Big Ed, my father, who took me to Shea Stadium 780,000 times, took me to meet Lindsey Nelson, Ralph Kiner. Let's see, what do we got coming? And I was about to say that at Ralph Kiner's glee moments that he had, and he had a lot of them.
His special water.
He would ask me to go get special water. And this happened more than once. One time I actually fell for it, but it happened. He would take me and he'd say, "Hey, do you want some?" And I'd say, "Oh yeah, okay, sure. And then I would take a sip. The first time I ever actually did, it wasn't water.
Water.
Well, there was water in it, but it was the water that was watered down, not
yeah. But anyway,
a little bit. And so that was that. So I wore this because the ashes of my dad, some of them, are in the parking lot of Citi Field, which was Shea Stadium. Buried under a tree after I had dumped some in a cab and all over New York and out in the river and everything. I just did a thing that he had done best. And he would have been so proud of these two guys. And they were pitching before 2009. So there is a chance that
they were in the American League.
He was.
Both of them were.
They both were. All right. It still works. It works. You know why it works? Because we're the Metropolitans and we're old school. Because Uncle Steve makes sure of that. So
Uncle Steve doing it right.
Give me your take on this weekend. Have we made the turnaround? Because as you know, it's been awful.
Listen, I've been saying this for almost a month at this point. Last year, we came out of the gate. We were in first place. The Braves were back there somewhere. And we were playing unstoppable. And then all through until September. This year, not so much. More like playing the beginning of this year like we did the end of last year. And I kept saying, I'd rather start this way than finish this way. Well, I think that we've been waiting for these guys to collectively start hitting. We've been waiting for this pitching of Scherzer and Verlander back-to-back to connect. This weekend, it finally happened. The two of them pitched 14 innings combined, Verlander 8. And they gave up 1 run between the two of them. And we had to come off the deck both times, the Scherzer game, ridiculously so. And yesterday, off the deck again. 3 times in a row, coming off the deck, win on a 5-game winning streak. Starling Marte starting to hit. Nimmo starting to hit. Baby Mets are hitting. And finally, we had Scherzer game 1. Verlander, 40-year-old Justin Verlander going 8
Could have closed.
8
Could have
innings,
finished.
1 run.
Could have finished. By the way, they took
Yeah,
98 pitches, but he was strong enough. He's finished stronger in the 8th than he was in the 5th or the 4th.
But he's 40.
Old school, old
So-
Shea Stadium way. You think the pitchers that pitched in Shea Stadium, the Goodens, the Matlacks,
Listen,
the
different.
Seavers, the kid, the
Didn't have pitch count for Tom Seaver.
I
No
don't
such
think they
thing.
counted- I don't think they counted his career because they couldn't get
No
that high
such
in the
thing.
numbers.
Bottom line is, no, these guys, these days, if a guy goes over 100 pitches, you remember it because most of them aren't allowed.
They don't, yeah.
But anyway,
I tell you, this was beautiful. And he had to go this deep because the kid
Yes.
across from him, Bieber, was pitching beautifully and was a 21-year-old kid that they weren't going to pull out of there until they had to at the last thing.
well,
So
also because of the night before and the night before that,
we got to their bullpen.
we went through our bullpen.
Right. Oh, that's true.
I mean, Dave Robertson
Yes,
pitched
yes.
3 days in a row.
Yes.
He's 38.
And Robertson pitched 2 innings in the first game.
That's what I'm saying. 3 days in
Okay.
a row.
So here's what I saw. Okay. And I saw this clear as a bell.
Clear as a bell.
This team, and this little bit of an analogy here of what I saw is going to lead into 2 things. One, Garden of Life, baby.
The life.
40 billion CFUs. 40 billion. Not 20, not 10, 40. Okay. How old are the 2 pitchers?
40.
Almost 40. 40, 39, 40.
Well, one is 40 and it's 38.
This is why they do. They are proponents of probiotics. Both of them. I did my research.
Balance.
Now we got balance. We got to get them into Garden of Life, of course, but that's what it's about. And why? Because what this team doesn't do is what your belly does when you don't take Garden of Life.
That's
Get
true.
all churned and upset and wavy and bouncy and bleh. That's
Well,
not
you're-
the way. So I did see through the whole terrible second month that we spent, I didn't see them too topsy-turvy as a team. I saw their faces get a little lulled this last week when we lost a couple of those silly games. When we lost the series to the Nats, it was just unforgivable. Unforgivable to do that and the way that we did. But I still saw some spark. I still saw Buck with I was yelling at Buck right and left. I was yelling, okay. And I still am. I don't think he knows how to use the bullpen, but I may be okay. But I may be wrong considering he's 4-time manager of the year, and I'm not.
Considering what we just pulled off.
Yeah, I may be wrong. But I won't say that yet.
By the way,
What I will say is it's balance, baby, and that's what this team has.
well, I'll tell you
What I
something.
saw over this weekend was a balance of starting pitching, which we could have had and should have had, and we do. A balance of, fielding. I can't tell you.
Defense.
Every single position, the defense. We saved 20 runs this weekend with defense.
Let me tell you something. Jeff McNeil is a Gold Glover. Everybody knows.
Everywhere he plays.
Okay. But believe it or not, Pete,
Okay.
as respected as he is as a hitter, does not get the respect of what he can do in the field.
By any means.
This past series, he was phenomenal.
Dude, he was making every pick, every wide throw. He stretches like I stretch, and I'm a yogi. He stretches like crazy.
He was unbelievable. And then yesterday, how about that top of the 9th, first out, Brooks Raley sprinting for the
Flip.
bunt, shovel it.
I thought it had signs of Bartolo Colon behind his back. It
Let me
was
tell you something. It's that moment that you could literally see the balloon go pop in Cleveland.
Oh, it was
Because
all-
by all rights, that guy should have been on first.
he was beating him down the line. There was no way. If he
And
doesn't
you
make
could
that play,
sense the deflation.
if he doesn't make that play, Raley gets there after him. And how about how smart Pete was to realize, well, if I go for it, he's not going to beat this guy. So he went right to the bag, which is a complete conscious thought there. And that was after a diving play the inning before he made. That play was a sure hit up the middle.
Yep.
Stopped it, flipped it, you're out. This
I
is
mean,
this is the way we're playing. And
This
Lindor,
is-
by the way, Lindor, and he showed it over this as a defensive shortstop.
great,
There's nobody better.
great.
He's unbelievable. His range is unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
His
He-
arm,
you know,
he's like a Brooklyn shortstop. I mean, if you could see the Brooklyn shortstop, Izzy, Magrieta, or Martinez, or what he goes by, making a play. This is
Let
at
me
the
tell you.
Brooklyns making a play from outfield across the diamond.
the defense on this team is ridiculous. And how many runs? Listen, how about that double play? Game 1 against Cleveland, Nimmo.
Unbelievable.
What was that?
I mean, what is that? Right?
I mean, I can't remember the last time I saw that.
Nope. And I'll tell you, we had one taken away. They said that they overturned the double play this also in the game, and they let the first guy be safe. He wasn't safe. It was a tie, but they called him out. They shouldn't have reversed that. They shouldn't have.
Yeah, those bang bang things you can't. But that throw by Nimmo and Alvarez, the baby Met, having the wherewithal to move up, go to the ball, and start running at the runner.
I know, but Nimmo knowing where to, that he had to come at full speed, scoop it, and throw it.
Had to come home.
The guy,
he made a great throw.
I tell you what, Nimmo is a ball player of immense proportions as a talent, but even more than that is his student of the game aspect. Every time.
I will say this, he's like 1 for 2 for his last 24 or 26.
Yeah, I know he got a couple hits yesterday. Yeah, he was 2 for 20.
Here's what it is, and this happens to a lot of guys, and Brandon Nimmo is no different. They sign the big contract, and they feel this enormous pressure,
right,
that they have to produce every single at bat has to be like a double or a homer, and it affected him.
They have to let that go. But yes, but he is hitting 295. So
no, but he was hitting 330 something.
Yeah, he was hitting 330. But I'll tell you what, I'm not worried about him, and I'll tell you who's going to be back over 300 in a week. Jeff McNeil.
Easily.
Give me 320. He's got it now. He just every at bat is quality.
By the way, I'm going to take a timeout for a second here.
Okay, let me see what you're taking it out for.
We are spoiled. You, me, we're spoiled. We have the greatest booth. That's Garden of Life right there.
That's why we're spoiled.
CFUs. We are the greatest booth in baseball. We are spoiled. We are.
Oh, without a doubt. Now I'm going to take it further.
Wait. Last night, not only and I don't get ESPN, so I have to watch it afterwards. I'm listening to these morons. But even worse is this thing that ESPN loves to do is mic up guys and talk to them in the middle of pitches.
And all we're seeing is the guy talking head or flip back to who's talking to him back and forth. What about the game?
They did a split screen yesterday with McNeil over where you are, the batter over here, and they're asking him about golf and how late he got. And it's interesting stuff. Don't get me wrong.
No, it's very interesting stuff.
In the middle of the damn pitch.
Get him on the dugout. Sometime between innings, do something. Not the pitch. He's standing there, and then he just goes for the ball right in the middle of the thing.
He's got to stop talking. It's distracting.
Ugh.
I hate it.
I do too.
And
I love the insight.
That was a shame because the insight, McNeil.
But there are times to get insight. You think the Mets would do? You think SNY would do that? No way.
The story he was telling, if he had actually been given time to tell it, was really interesting.
Yes.
I mean, we all look as Met fans. We know the guy loves golf, but I didn't know that his whole thing was golf was plan A, and in high school it was golf, and then his junior or senior year, he wasn't getting any offers for golf, and he goes, "Yeah, I guess I'll play baseball."
And got an offer the next day.
Got an offer to play Long Beach.
His first game, he went 6 for 6 and everything.
But instead, they're talking about it in between freaking pitches.
I know. I wanted to. Oh, it's terrible. But I'll tell you what. this team is starting to gel, and I'm going to call it right now. If we win one more series, which is the one coming up, because it's a tough one, it's the Cubs, and I believe it's at the Cubs. I don't believe it's home. It's at the Cubs. So this is a tough one, facing their best pitcher first with Cookie on the mound, I think. No, not Cookie. Senga. Senga's on the mound, who's looked good the last two outings. So let's see. But this is a tough one. We don't fare well usually, other than that time we swept them in the playoffs.
You know what's unusual is you're flying to Chicago, Wrigley Field, one of the greatest ballparks in all of baseball
History.
And they're playing 3 night games.
I know. It's terrible. It's terrible. So terrible. I get that they had to put lights in and play night games. They had to do it. So, but you still have to have, every series has to have a day game. It's Wrigley Field.
Should have 2 or 3 should be day games at Wrigley.
Always.
Unless-
Always. Just terrible. Terrible. I agree with it. But now we go in there and take 2 out of 3 or sweep.
One at a time.
Okay. Or sweep.
One at a time.
Okay.
Let's go in, win game 1.
In one, sweep.
Then, so if Senga's pitching game 1,
Right.
it's Cookie and then McGill.
Yeah. Or McGill, then Cookie.
We need a good outing out of Cookie.
We do. And I'll tell you, his first outing wasn't terrible. It was just rusty as could be. And he can't afford to be rusty because he doesn't have the power behind his pitch to miss one upstairs, you know, where it's down a little bit because he's throwing 92, not 95, 96, 97 without movement. You know, Verlander missed a couple, only one really bad one, the one to Ramirez in the first inning, but they didn't get him except him one
Now,
time.
you gotta be, the thing is, you gotta, this is old, like you said before, old school. Old school is pitching, not throwing it at 100 miles an hour.
That's the whole deal.
It's pitching. I mean, listen, one of
That's
the
what
greatest
does it.
pitchers that I actually saw pitch, who did pitch for the Cubs, but mainly I saw him pitch for the Braves, was Greg Maddux. And the guy never threw over 94 miles an hour. By the time he's with the Braves, he was throwing like 92.
He pitched for the Cubs? When?
He started off as a Cub.
Oh, and then he came to the Braves. Yeah, no, he didn't
But
pitch 92.
He
92.
rarely
He
pitched
never
over
hit 94. He hit
94.
91, 92.
Mainly pitched 92, and then towards the end, he barely hit 90. And and I'm paraphrasing, his quote was, "I could tell you," meaning the batter, "exactly the pitch I'm going to throw and exactly where I'm going to throw it, and you're still not going to hit it." That's pitching.
That's pitching. And he believed it in every pitch he threw. And you know
That's
what?
the art of pitching.
And you know what?
The art of pitching.
The majority of the pitches he threw, you weren't going to hit.
You could, and they weren't fast.
No,
That's
but
the
they
point.
were. But if this was the plate, they were here.
Well, he would say,
Sideline.
"I'm throwing an off-speed slider, and it's going down a left-hand corner." Okay, and it goes there, and you still miss it.
No, he was.
But you know why
I
he
have
was able to
say,
do that?
He was one. Most of my favorite pitchers of all time are Mets, but
He was able to do
he
that.
fits in. He fits in there. I
He
hate
was
to say it
balanced.
because for the most of the time we were facing him. Now,
He was balanced.
and because he was young to find probiotics, very young Maddox,
Garden of Life.
Garden of Life. Yes, he did, because he liked to hit home runs because that's what the chicks liked. So in order to get a little extra power to hit a home run, this is what he did. You know,
Balance.
back in the day when pitchers hit, which I'm missing terribly, by the way. I don't want to keep talking about that, but yeah, that's sad.
Done.
Sad.
So,
But all right, so the Metropolitans, here's the thing. We win tomorrow night,
yeah.
all bets are off. We may go for 15 straight. That's how good I think we are. We lose tomorrow night, but we win the series, we're okay. We're out of the doldrums.
I think we're out of the doldrums.
We lose 2 out of 3, and I'm going to be nervous again.
I think we're out of the doldrums. I think that we're going to start going on the thing that we did last year was take 2 out of 3, take 3 out of 4,
And we did.
and just keep building on that.
We hadn't lost the series until June. We
Of this
hadn't
year.
lost of this year. That we hadn't lost. Now
Not June, April. It's not June yet.
we hadn't lost the series last year
Oh, that no, but this year, up until this year, was
We
the
barely-
first time we had lost the series.
Oh yeah, up until April of this year. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, no, we lost series against Atlanta at the end of the season. That's what cost us.
That's
We
why
lost
I
two.
needed the Garden of Life to
Yeah.
balance me out.
You needed a gallon.
Gallon of that stuff.
Yeah.
That was
Right.
horrible. But anyway,
All right.
looking forward. So wait, before we go on, one more thing about the Garden of Life before we switch to the
You're right.
JETS Jets.
Friends, this is balance. Life is balance. 40 CFUs, and you can't fall out of balance. So
There
come
you
on,
go.
Garden of Life friends, and you all should be Garden of Life friends. Let's do this thing.
Let's do this. All right.
JETS, Jets. Woo!
So
Aaron Rodgers is at the OTAs, by the way, teaching the young kids the game. And you're going to tell me negative news. I can see it in your movie.
well, this is a problem. And this has nothing to do with Aaron Rodgers.
Okay, because so far I'm very proud of him.
Oh, he's gone above and beyond the listen, from somebody
You, who was
who
not,
was not happy about making this deal, from somebody who was kicking and screaming about accepting this deal.
thank you.
He has already exceeded his involvement beyond what I thought he would do. I got to give him credit for that.
Okay.
Okay.
What are you bringing me, Dr. Negative news?
Well,
What
it's
are you
not
bringing
negative,
me
it's just
that's going to
facts.
cause me to take another Garden of Life? What are you
You
bringing?
might need one after I tell you this.
Let me hear.
Okay. So we have to protect Mr. Rogers. Guy's 39, he's going to turn 40 in the season.
I think it's
Our
38,
offensive
39.
line isn't as good as it should be. He will make it better because he gets rid of the ball, makes quicker decisions. However, today, for the second time in less than 2 weeks, Mekhi Becton decided to open up his yapper. And this time it was a full article to the Daily News. And he started talking about how the Jets mismanaged him and that he told them that he wasn't ready to play right tackle because his knee wasn't ready and he would have to change the way he balances. And he went out there, they told him to tough it out. He went out there and he got hurt again and he missed all of last season, blah, 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 blah. Basically shoveling it all on the Jets. All of it. And saying that a week and a half ago, I am left tackle. Where our coach is like, dude, you haven't played in 2 years. You want to be left tackle? Go earn it. Earn it. But no. So he's already complaining now. This is separated by less than 10 days of him going. Now he just full on bus rolled the Jets in an article. Full on.
I didn't
No
see this article.
responsibility
I didn't
for
see
the
this
fact
article.
that he let himself get around 400 flipping pounds. He was lazy in his rehab, and then he desperately tried to crash diet 2 weeks before last year's minicamp.
And then he got hurt.
Throwing up while he was there because you can't, and I know, you can't crash diet.
No.
And then he gets out there
Need balance.
and he gets shoved, and his knee gives out. And now he's getting all crappy with the Jets because they didn't pick up his option, nor should they have. And he's
How
thinking,
do you pick up an option with a guy who's played 7 games?
and he's thinking, well, only the left tackles in this league get the big money, and I want to get the big money. I'm a left tackle. That's all this guy's thinking about right now. Hasn't played in 2 years. And in this article, he's saying it's all the Jets' fault.
Well, you know what's going to happen. You
I-
know what's going to
the
happen
Jets.
because Douglas has done a very good job of getting a lot of people there that are called the big fatties, the linemen. And I know you're not supposed to call it, but they love being called the big fatties.
No, he doesn't.
He doesn't because he's a big fatty.
He's onion skin. But the point is, he's not.
But here's what's going to happen. He's going to
Not accepting.
he's gonna lose his job.
responsibility.
He's going to lose his job if he keeps it
Not
up.
accepting responsibility.
It's terrible.
Let me tell you something. People said, "Oh, well, they put Font at left tackle and they favored Font." I go, listen to me. I go, first off, the guy didn't do his rehab. He came in overweight. He tried to lose weight in 2 weeks, and then he got hurt. Okay. That's on him. If he did his rehab the right way,
That's right.
lost the weight the right way, comes into camp and says, hey, look, guys, and he looks good. My knee is feeling a little tweaky. Goes out there, does some drills, and is adamant in saying, listen, my knee is bad. Instead of wilting, and now he's not wilting. Okay, no, you say something. This is your profession.
Oh yeah, he should have. No, I'm not arguing with you. You know what? For one time in your ranting and raving negativity, which I understand,
It's not even negative.
Let
It's
tell you
pissing me
something.
off.
That has something to do about what's going to happen with the Pearl of Wisdom today. But
Well,
now,
but I'm just trying
but
to
I
tell
have
you,
to agree with you. And
he's
I
pissing me
hate
off. So now,
whiners. I hate whiners. Whiners. Ugh.
so that's the thing. It's like,
That's what-
it's like,
So,
Somebody
so
said
he needs to wake up quick. And you know what? I'm going to tell you something. Aaron Rodgers, Conor McGregor, guys like that have been there for a while, they're not.
Conor
gonna take
McGregor's
shit.
the UFC guy.
Yeah, but he's helping in the war. You know, he's helping with the footwork. Yeah, Conor McGregor's in there. You didn't
Conor
know
McGregor. Listen,
that?
listen. Beck, listen. I understand he's frustrated.
Right.
I get it. I understand, and I don't agree with it, that he and his agent are looking beyond towards a payday. I get that. But you
Then
got
show
to
me
understand.
something.
You have to take in the fact that you haven't played in 2 years.
Right.
Here's your chance. He comes in first. By the way, now he looks like he's in great shape.
He's Mekhi
He comes in, play right tackle, play it great, right? Who's to say during the season somebody doesn't get hurt? You got to go to the left side.
Who's to say that
Play
they don't
great.
say, you know what? Maybe it'd be better to move him over here now. Let's see what happens. Could
Play
happen.
great. And if you play great and the season, whenever the season ends, if you had a fantastic season,
You're getting
then
rewarded.
you can market yourself with your agent as a left tackle. And if the Jets decide they don't want to pay you left tackle money, you've played so great that there's probably 8 other teams that will.
That will.
So
That's
shut
how
up
you play. Shut up
and
and play
play.
ball. That's right. I agree with you. Shut up and play ball. You know who's doing that? Aaron Rodgers.
Listen, again, giving credit where credit is due.
Please. I'm telling you, he wants to stick it to
All
the
right.
whole league.
So
Okay.
before we wrap this up, you want to touch on the Knicks for a minute or 30 seconds?
30-second Knicks touch.
30 seconds.
Okay, bounce that ball.
Carmelo Anthony announced his retirement today.
So I'm in favor of this in one way because I get that he's up there in the age and he has. I wish he had won a championship. He's the greatest player maybe never to have, who's won championships in the Olympics and college. But
Yeah.
I expected him to do it, and I wish he had done it with the Knicks. But there's no real place for him to come back to the Knicks. I don't think he wanted to go back anywhere
No,
else.
I don't think I
You
think
know?
he decided he's done. I just don't know. I don't know if he's going to sign one of those 1-year deals.
That's
and
what I'm
retire.
hoping for. That would be very nice.
That would be
To
cool.
do that and play a couple games or play one game and retire.
No,
Out
he
of it.
doesn't even play. He just comes in, he signs a 1-day contract, and then he retires.
He retires. Yeah, I would love to see that. We'll see what
Now,
happens.
if it was Uncle Steve who owned the
But-
Knicks,
But I can tell you something. We are very close to a championship.
let me tell you something.
Because
Let me
if
tell
you
you
see
something.
what
This is how
Miami
close
is, if
we
you
are.
see what Miami is doing, who we should have beaten. If Quickly was in the game, we would have beaten them.
Not only that, but if Randall hadn't had to miss a game,
Right. And break
If
his
Josh
and
Hart-
play on 1 foot, basically.
if Josh Hart's playing at 85%
right.
instead of 70,
And playing it out anyway. Yeah, no, I
Right?
understand. And that's an excuse. It happens, but it shows you that we had the skill to do it. We're one player away. We're one player away. How do we get that player? Is the
you
question.
trade Randall and get Giannis.
If that's available, I can't argue with that, but I'm looking for something different. Yeah, you know what this
You
is?
want different.
This could lead into a pearl of wisdom. Okay, the Knicks,
Well,
baby.
listen, we're gonna wrap it up. Let's go right into it. Let's just go
because,
into pearl of
because
wisdom.
we're one player away. And here's what I want you to say. If we go into that player, or we go into the Metropolitans, or we go into the Jets, and we play back the negative stories, the has been, what was, everything, then in the moment you're in today, you're playing with a cloud. There's like, it's like, and I understand this. I understand every Jet, Met, and Nick fan waiting for the other shoe to drop. I understand that. But, and in the Knicks, you could say it could drop at any point because the idiot owner is still the idiot owner.
Listen,
okay? But the
you have like
Mets,
8 shoe stores full of shoes.
the Mets
between
have the
you.
best owner in baseball. The Jets have now the right owner back in this place who's always been, he's a little kooky, but he spends the money and he doesn't, and he listens to his managers, a little bit. Okay. But what you can't do in life,
This is the guy.
Uncle Steve, what you can't do in life, and this is what he does best. Okay. You're gonna make mistakes in life. You're gonna have relationships where the woman or the guy or whatever between, or two of them or whatever the relationship is a freakazoid that you're with. You're gonna have those. You cannot go into the next relationship with freakazoid status, like, oh, I'm gonna be careful, I'm gonna watch this, and if there's a sign. No, because they're different people. They're different relationships, and you're a different person, hopefully, because of it. Uncle Steve came into 2 decades of the Wilpons. He turned it around the day that contract was signed and that he was going to own the Mets. Turned around the MO immediately, which is why right now I believe in today, the only day that exists. As many times as you try to make tomorrow exist, it's out there, out there. As many times as you make yesterday a priority, back there. Today, baby, it's about today. Take your probiotics today, not 2 weeks from now. Today, 40 CFUs, not BFUs. That's something else. 40 billion CFUs. Okay.
Right.
That being said, Garden of Life, thank you, is exactly why I think the Mets are here to win, because they are playing every day, every inning with fire, with passion. They don't start to the 4th inning, and that's something they gotta figure out. But from the 4th inning on, they're there. They're making plays. They're doing the right things. They're making the right cutoffs. They're doing everything. It's all about that. But they're not dwelling on a bad play. They're not dwelling on the strikeout they made the inning before. And you see guys coming up doing that on other teams and other sports in every way and in life. You have to be present.
You have to be present.
That's the pearl of wisdom.
Listen.
Present.
You know.
Not today, now, this instant.
You learn from what's back there, but after it's back there and you've moved forward, leave it back there.
It's back there. There's a song by a band, Oasis, who unfortunately can't figure this out, but they wrote it, Don't Look Back in Anger. Great song, whether you like the band or not. Great song, great marks. They look back in anger. They're still fighting with each other, the 2 brothers. And they're not listening to their own words. Don't look back in anger. Even if it was a bad thing, there are bad things or there are bad experiences. But the positive way to go through a bad experience, JETS, let's effing go Mets, the Knicks, baby, right now, right here, today, this moment. That's the one we're playing with. That's the life we live. So, what do? Tell me the 2 words.
The two words.
2 words. First one is be.
Be present.
Thank you. Be present.
I'm sitting there going, Garden of Life is 3 words.
3 words. We didn't get to the Steel Abito Reds and stuff yet. Okay.
Listen, maybe things will keep going and we can celebrate with a little.
Don't you think that there's not going to be a day for that?
All right.
Tonight,
all right. Well, look, that's pretty good.
Tonight might be a good day for Red. Yeah, might be a good night.
All right. Well,
What do we
you
got?
don't understand.
What you don't understand is this has been another official broad podcast of What You Don't Understand. This is Jet Steve Weisgill.
It's Mark Blanchard over there. We'll see you next time.
Yes, we will.
Adios.